I got two surefire skills in life. Concocting a brand new illness every NAMM, and making people think I'm better than I am at guitar just because I know some simple major scale stuff. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're talking about the easiest things that you can do on guitar to sound like you're actually good. This is gonna be in the key of E, the key of 2025, and a lot of it is gonna be hammer-ons, pull-offs, specifically double hammer-ons. This is gonna be some wild stuff, guys. Because I'm sick, I don't have a filter right now. So usually all the secrets I try to keep for the paywalled stuff are out the door, all right? What we need to know is the major scale. That's all you need to know right now, right? Now, a big criticism I have on my videos is I don't provide tablature. So like I said, filters off. So we're gonna add a tab on this too. So this is the major scale starting on E. It's open, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. Did I forget to mention that when I said I was going to add tabs, it would just be iPhone video footage of an Erewhon bag with a blue Sharpie tabbing it out? I didn't say they were going to be good tabs, but they're definitely passive-aggressive. Now, you can follow along with tab if you want, but don't, because the tab is only going to hold you back. This isn't so bad. Go 2 whole steps and a half step, right? And then 3 whole steps and a half step. Or 2 whole steps and a half step, go a step higher, and then 2 whole steps and a half step. It's the same thing, right? The nice thing about learning the intervals or the pattern rather than having to remember on the numbers of a tab is you can transport this to any fret or any open string that's going to help you out. Let's just talk about the first open 2, 4, 5 right here. Now, no matter whether it's your first day playing guitar, you can do this. Open, hammer on 2, right? You strike the string, and then you take whatever finger is your strongest finger, and then come down on the fret, just behind the fret of where you want to hit, right? To do the opposite, you just pull it off. So by striking the string once, you can get 3 notes to play out, right? Now, that's going to be a big part of what we're talking about today, right? So what I want to do first is just get those pull-offs and hammer-ons going, but I want to start doing them in combination. So the double hammer-on is really, it's like the white whale of guitar playing, right? Right there, that open 2, 4. If you can do 2 in a row, or 2 backwards, then you're playing with house money, and you're really unbeatable at that point. Now, what we're eventually going to do is we're going to start putting together. I'll do like a quick demo of what we're going to do by the end of the video, then I'll go backwards a little bit to maybe simplify it. So I'm just going to play 2 chords, E major to A major, and then add some of the cool hammer-on stuff we're going to be talking about in this video. So we got kind of like 2 different chords and then like a hammer-on kind of riff lick thing in between each of them, right? So now let's talk about just the E major one first. By the way, this video is sponsored by Enya Guitars. I'm rocking this awesome Enya Nova Go Sonic right now. It's got a built-in speaker. I'm going direct in to the amp right here, just with the regular instrument cable, but I'll talk about a little more about this guitar at the end of the video, but thank you to Enya for sponsoring the video. So for the E major here, I'm going to combine this with open 2, 4, and 5. Again, the first few notes of the E major scale. Makes a lot of sense, right? So that's why if you kind of know how to go through each of these, maybe 2 notes at a time. Like again, that open to 2 is really easy. You know, you can just drill that. But then maybe instead of going open to 4 as a double hammer-on, just maybe go just 2 to 4 and get that down, right? With whatever finger's comfortable. You know, a lot of people kind of avoid the pinky, but, you know, whatever finger's comfortable. The finger you use doesn't really matter. Just like the tablature method you use doesn't really matter. That's so shady. That's so shady of me to just like... Anyways, whatever. So, we got open 2, 2, 4, 4, 5, right? So be able to kind of go back and forth between any of those, like, you know... Like right there, that is just I also know that open B is a note in this key. So that's going to be how I'm going to get in that that kind of mode of going into the E chord. Or maybe I want to do that right there. What a cool way to get to an E major chord, right? I'm just going 2, 4, 2, open, B, and then an E major chord. Again, E major is open, 2, 2, 1, open, open. All right? Right there. That's just like, if you can take nothing else from this video, just that. That's a pretty cool move, right? 2, 4, 2, open. Super easy to play because it's just one strike. You can do that super fast. You can slow it down to really milk it. Now what I'm doing here is, you can see I'm not playing with a pick. I've got my thumb just holding the B string. The nice thing about that is I can really be sloppier with whatever is going around the E string, because I don't have to worry about any of the other strings vibrating, because I'm holding them all down with my hand, right? So then I can pop the B there and then hit the E major from that, right? That's just one lick of a million different potentials that you can have just from learning the first few notes of the major scale. We can kind of go above and beyond, and then maybe just go 2, 4, 5, 7. Maybe like that. 5, 7, 5, 4, which is really the same thing conceptually as that. I'm just going higher. However you want to combine these notes, I think there's so much value to really practicing a scale this way. Because even though like E major is a pretty special spot on guitar, just because, you know, E major is the boss chord in standard E guitar tuning, right? Because we got low E string and a high E string. It really sets itself up nicely, especially with the E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B. B being the fifth of E, the fifth leads you back to 1. Hitting that open B string kind of is a great way to kind of set up hitting the E chord when you land there. All of this stuff does transfer to other keys from an interval to interval ratio perspective, right? So again, open 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. On this guitar, you can line up the 12th fret with this cool little Fire Enya logo. Oh my gosh, they do such a good job. Now, really common chord progression is going to be a 1 to a 4 chord. All right, what's the 4 chord in the key of E? E, F sharp, G, A, right? So, A major. Now, I was playing a bar chord A major just because I wanted to get into a little different spot. That's going to be the riff for A. Because it's a little more involved, I wanted to do something a little fancier. But you could do the same thing. You could play this A major and then do the same thing if you want. All the riffs will still apply to all the chords in the key of E. You can kind of just mix and match with whatever you want to do. But this is going to be a little higher up the neck, all right? So we've got... This is going to be the whole lick that's going to go around in A major chord, however you want to play it. I'm thinking of an A major bar chord. You can think of a triad, 5, 5, 6, 7, or just the middle, 7A, 7D, 6G, 5B. But here's the riff again. Okay, so I'm going 4, 5, 4, 1, then open. That's just one strike. 4, 5, 4, open. And then I'm going to land on the 5th fret of the B string. Open B, 5th fret B, 7, 5. So. All right, we have 2 chords, 2 licks. First lick. Second one. So E, E, A, A. And then you can stop them short or You don't have to do the whole thing. You can just do little pieces of them. But the important thing is to see them all along one line and how we actually come about them in the major scale that we can use to get it from, right? So let's continue on, and let's just do one real quick exercise, which is just doing the scale, but doing them as double hammer-ons through the entire scale. So what I mean by that is, like, if we have open to 4, that's our double hammer-on, right? E, F sharp, G sharp. Then the next one would be F sharp, G sharp, A. Now, the difference between a double hammer-on and a hammer-on slide is something that I think is important to talk a little bit about, because in my own personal playing, I'll hammer on to slide more than I'll hammer on double, right? But I think it is an important thing to talk about to make this distinction, whether you want to have another hammer on or another slide. And I think the importance is, like, well, what do you want to do? Are you going more for like a speed thing? Speed thing is almost always going to be faster just doing hammer-ons and pull-offs the whole way through. I think that slides in combination with hammer-ons and pull-offs is maybe a more elegant, smoother way of playing, just in my opinion. So that's why we're going to start off with open to 4, 2, 4, 5, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 9. See, so now every other one I'm going double hammer-on, hammer-on, slide, double hammer-on, hammer-on, slide, double hammer-on, hammer-on, slide. And then you kind of have to end it with the chord, you know? But again, doing it that way I think is really, really good for your brain to kind of like understand how these link together as shapes. Another way that you could do it that's actually probably a little more fun is to not do them as double hammer-ons in order, but to always go back to the open E string. So like open to 4, open, open 4, 5, open, open 5, 7, open, open 7, 9, open, open 9, 11. Where you're just kind of advancing one note towards each one. And then you can do the same thing, you know, backwards if you really want to, you know. So there's an infinite amount of things you can do with, but first you really have to understand where this is all coming from, and then maybe having like some chords to kind of start messing around in between them. Otherwise, it just sounds like, you know, you're just maybe doing some weird tapping exercise. But like I said, once you just kind of like start doing a little bit of this, it'll really evolve into something in your own playing that you might even be surprised at. Like for me, every time I play like an E major chord, I always kind of end up doing stuff like that, where I'm just like playing like an E, and then I'm, you know, getting that second fret hammer on. And then I notice that something I do a lot is I'll take my pinky after that hammer, and then I'll slide into that G sharp on the high string. And then I'll do some kind of, you know, some kind of riff after an A all the time. And it's funny, it's like I didn't even really cognizantly start doing that. It was just something that like I kind of liked the sound of, and my hands knew where those scales were, and this is something that now is just part of my playing. That probably started out as an exercise, and I didn't even mean it to go that far or that deep. But anyways, like I said, this is the Enya Nova Sonic Go. This is really like a cool travel guitar. I had this with me when I was at NAMM, contracting whatever it is that I've had these last 4 days. But it's such a cool travel guitar because you don't need to plug it into an amp. You can actually just hold this button, and as long as it's charged with the USB cable, it'll just power up the built-in speaker, which again is like a pretty loud speaker with, you know, a bunch of effects and stuff. So now I'm just going off the built-in effect here. And as far as like, I'm not sure how it comes through on camera, but to me it's like as loud as that, you know, tube amp was just across the room right there. And the fact that you can actually get like how awesome is it just to be able to practice with like an electric guitar, and then you can still adjust the volume to maybe get it to feedback. with that. It still has 3 pickups that you could use, and you know. I don't know, just a really cool, innovative guitar that, and yeah, so I'll have an affiliate link in the description if you guys are interested in the guitar. They also have some cool different colors and stuff, and he's been a good sponsor of the channel over the years, so show them some love. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, or the website, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks a lot.